Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bellevue School Foundation's annual Spring for Schools Luncheon. And I know you are gathered with friends you haven't seen in a while and want to catch up, but I promise you will have some minutes in between to catch up with your table mates. So my name is Locke, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. I'm the former First Lady of Washington State, a resident of Bellevue, and a proud Medina Elementary School mom. So I'm proud to be able to give back today to an organization that has done so much for my family and for families in our community. An event of this size, as you can imagine, couldn't happen without an army of volunteers and a lot of gratitude. So I want to start today's program with a lot of thank yous. First, Bellevue High Jazz Combo and their director, Ed George. You'll be hearing from them a little later today also. And I'd like to thank the elected officials who are joining us today. So please stand and be recognized. I know firsthand how important their support is in education in this state. And thank you to all of our leadership donors. Let's recognize our head of the class donors and the donors in our superintendent circle. So for all donations of $1,000 today, they will be matched by our generous angel donors. And if you donate more than $1,000, your first $1,000 will be matched by these donors. So let's thank our angel donors for their generosity and applaud them in recognition of the importance. They are truly helping create leaders for our future. Bellevue School Foundations is the R&D for BSD, so together we will make it happen. Thank you to our inaugural class of honor roll realtors, including salutatorian agent Maureen Kahn of Caldwell Banker Bain and valedictorian firm Realogics Sotheby's International. I'd also like to take a minute to thank our event sponsors. Now I'm going to ask you to hold your applause because, thank goodness, there are a lot of them and they're important to us, so we're going to mention them all. Our event technology sponsor, PSAV, our salutatorian sponsors, Allegro Pediatrics, Benaroya, Cherry Crest Elementary PTSA, D.A. Davidson, First Tech Federal Credit Union, Field Turf, Fouché & Associates Company, Heavy Restaurant Group, Honda Auto Center of Bellevue, the James and C.K. Coles Foundation, K. Smith, McDonald Miller Facility Solutions Incorporated, Medina Elementary School PTSA, Overlake Hospital and Medical Center, Perkins Coie, Puget Sound Energy, Republic Services, Sierra Martin Architects, Talon Private Capital, and Whole Foods Market. And thank you to our valedictorian sponsors, the Boeing Company, GLY Construction, Microsoft, Concur, and SPUS Construction. And finally, thanks so much to our presenting sponsor, the Bellevue Collection and the Kemper-Freeman family. Thank you for your generous donation, your vision as individuals and as a community. And of course, we couldn't let the opportunity go by to recognize all of our table captains in the room. So table captains, please stand. This event is really such a big hit because of all of your hard work, so we appreciate that. And thank you to all the PTSAs and foundation ambassadors for all your support. We're proud to say that every PTSA in Bellevue is a supporter this year. Next, I want to thank our Bellevue Foundation Board of Trustees. Will all of you please stand? These 35 individuals have made an incredible commitment And of course, this event wouldn't be a success without a cadre of volunteers who spent countless hours planning this event. So thank you to the members of our Spring for Schools committee and to the wonderful, hardworking Bellevue Schools Foundation staff. And special thanks to Connie Peterson and Catherine Smith for co-chairing this event today. I told you, it takes an army of volunteers, right? So continuing with business, let's pick our raffle winners right now. And the lucky winners can pick up your gift cards at the end of the event at the registration table. We're going to pick out 7 raffle winners, so get your raffle tickets. All right, the first winner, the number is 734-7718. I heard a whoa, okay. I hope my eyes are, I need my glasses really, but I think these are the numbers we're gonna go with. Second ticket, 734-7730. Is there a winner? I'll assume there is. Third ticket, 734-7578. Ticket number 4, 734-7726. I hope you're listening because there's great certificates, I think, for free meals. Fifth ticket, 734-7589. Winner number 6, 734-7883. What is this? Last one? Last winner, 734-7919. Congratulations to all the winners. And thank you to the students. Now, please take a few minutes now to have a conversation with your table mates and eat lunch while the Bellevue High Jazz combo continues to play. And we'll be back with you in a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome back.
Hopefully they won't kill the sound guys.
Well, they're not. Welcome back. I want to take a moment now and tell you really why I'm here and such a big fan of the Bellevue Schools Foundation. Moving back from China, my daughter Madeline had a bit of a rough transition into the American education system and its curriculum. Since preschool, Madeline has attended 5 different schools in the years leading up to her starting at Medina Elementary in 3rd grade. So I can't tell you how many times Madeline complained about math, and she begged me day after day to be homeschooled. And this year, her 5th grade teacher, Pam Behan, has had the most amazing impact on Madeline. It was the first time ever that she came home from school and actually wrote me a note saying that she liked math. I was like shocked. And not once has she asked this year to be homeschooled, so that's a huge victory. Ms. Behan has managed to build Madeline's confidence, not just in the academics, but really with a holistic approach. Madeline once told Ms. Behan that there was no way she could make it across the monkey bars at school. She wasn't strong enough. So what did Ms. Behan do? That recess, she went out there with Madeline and watched her and supported her as she tried to get across the monkey bars, and she did so in subsequent recesses. So it's teachers like Ms. Behan who have a profound impact on our children and in our communities. And I'm happy to say Ms. Behan is now halfway through completing the process for National Board Certification. And to Ms. Behan and all the teachers who are taking on the national boards, way to go. So our first speaker today is Bellevue Schools Foundation Executive Director Lynn Juniel. Please help me in giving her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Mona, and thank each of you for coming out today. I have to say it is a tremendous thrill to look out at this room and see so many of you gathered here today for our students. When I look out, I must say that no one can doubt that Bellevue puts education first, and no matter what controversies may arise, we are a community that come together in support of our kids. So thank you. You are the reason that for 37 years, the foundation has been guided by a steadfast goal of developing, promoting, and funding opportunities for all children in our schools. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. Excellent education and the power that each of you has to make it happen for every child in every classroom every day. Now, we know that many people think that this is what Bellevue looks like. But in reality, this is our Bellevue. We are vibrant and diverse. We have diverse neighborhoods, families, and kids. And that's our common thread, our children. There are more than 19,000 children in our district, and each has distinct needs, dreams, and a very unique path to success. Our kids are our greatest natural resources. They are the ones who are going to fuel our future. So it's our civic duty to make sure that each has the resources to achieve the full power and promise of their potential. And we can. We can do it by working together. Take, for instance, Mona's daughter. Her daughter's teacher is working towards her national board certification. Studies have shown that national board certified teachers increase student learning, engagement, and achievement. So I'm proud to say that here in Bellevue, we have more than 400 national board certified teachers. That is more than any other district in the state, and that puts us among the top in the nation. You made it happen. And this can-do attitude and unwavering commitment to education makes possible so many great programs that boost education for our children. High-quality preschool for at-risk children, you make it happen. mentoring, classroom grants, the Naviance College and Career Planning software platform. Again, that's you. And I'm looking over here at our computer science department. Our computer science initiative, which is a first in the nation, is made possible by the people in this room. And I have to repeat that because this is just so amazing. Bellevue is piloting a first-in-the-nation computer science initiative. Districts from San Francisco to Chicago and beyond are looking to us. They are looking to Bellevue for leadership on how to integrate computer science and critical thinking skills into the core curriculum for every student. That's powerful. And you make it happen. But let's face it. Regardless of all the achievements that we've made and the plans that we have, we've not yet crossed the finish line. The needs of our children continue to grow. They outpace the government funding available to fulfill them. Good thing is, I have faith, and our children have you. Today, with your help, we will take a powerful first step towards an audacious goal. We plan to double investments in our students in the next 5 years. And I want you to imagine what that could mean. A strong academic foundation for students most at need with tuition-free preschool. Social and emotional support services at every school to make sure our kids are healthy and can thrive from the inside out. Seamless integration of those computer science and critical 21st century thinking skills into the core curriculum for every student. And robust, engaging, and innovative programs that spark that love of learning in our children. Maybe even a national board certified teacher in every classroom. We have the power to make it happen. And so I'm going to leave you today with a charge. I ask you to lean in, to double down and embrace the audacious. I ask you to reach out. Let your friends know what you and 11 other 100 people learned here today. Share with them the joy of turning that passion for education into life-changing opportunities for our children. Go all in, go all out for our kids. We can transform education and support every child in every classroom at every school. Everything we need to do so is right here today in this room. And looking out at you, I'm confident we'll make it happen. Thank you. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Superintendent of the Bellevue School District, Dr. Tim Mills.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the 20,000 students, 2,000 staff members, and the Board of Directors, I want to thank you for your attendance here today and for your support of the Bellevue Schools Foundation. Many in this room know that our students perform well on state, national, and even international assessments. Our graduation rate last year was 91.6%. Our graduates complete an average of 6 advanced placement or international baccalaureate courses, far exceeding the national average. In fact, last year, our high school students took over 7,500 advanced placement tests with a 75% pass rate, the highest percentage ever for our district. And yes, our enrollment in our career technical education courses are at an all-time high. And of course, there are many other celebrations of student success beyond the world of assessments where our BSD students shine. And you saw some of that on stage today. In our efforts for all students, we are committed to schools where equity and inclusion are paramount. The diversity of our students is one of our greatest attributes. We want to eliminate obstacles that may isolate any one student, and especially students who are second language learners, students who have special learning needs, students who experience poverty, and students from diverse racial and cultural backgrounds. Our aim is to ensure that every student's personal school experience is truly exceptional. When I see our 20,000 students, I see and celebrate students of all different ages, income levels, and abilities. I see students who come from over 117 birth countries. I see students who have just moved into a new neighborhood and a new school. I see students who want to soar to the highest of their abilities. I see students who will be our leaders for tomorrow. And I see students who deserve only the very best. We have 3 initiatives in our district: academic success, college and career readiness, and a positive and productive life. These initiatives drive the goals that are at the core of our work for students. In fact, we will not be satisfied as a school district until we have 100% student success in all 3 initiatives. What is encouraging to me and to our staff is knowing that we have the support of the Bellevue Schools Foundation. For over 3 decades, the Bellevue Schools Foundation has continued to be a driving force in supporting the district's innovative dreams. Dreams like the K-12 Computer Science Initiative and the Elementary STEM Initiative. The foundation continues to stand beside us in supporting students through many highly effective programs like AVID, the Advanced Placement Capstone Diploma, Early Literacy Interventions, the VIBES Mentoring Program, and for our teachers, the National Board Certification Program. As superintendent, I am fortunate and honored to work alongside great teachers, great administrators, and a great support staff. In fact, it is our teachers, support staff, and administrators who give me confidence that we will succeed in our quest to become a truly inclusive and equity-based school district. I know that we can achieve our goal of 100% in our instructional initiatives. Through the support of the Bellevue Schools Foundation, we can join together to make a magnificent difference in the lives of each and every student, all 20,000 of them. Thank you for your support of the Schools Foundation, of our school district, and most importantly, our students.
Computer science K-12 is important because there's no reason that every student shouldn't have equal access to this.
I like to design things. I want to invent like some robots. It's challenging. I just like to create things also.
If it doesn't start in the early grades, then by the time they get to middle school or high school, they've already decided that's not for me. That's not my demographic. The kids who are in that class don't look like me.
By creating opportunities that are part of the general education daily activities, we're really creating an opportunity for all students, for each and every child to benefit from the learning that can happen through computer science.
Our computer science initiative is really grounded in equity, and it's grounded in the idea of advancing equitable computer science access for all kids.
That's fine.
The point of this lesson is so that if you have difficulties, that you think creatively and solve those problems together.
I like that it teaches me like with teamwork and stuff, and I get to something hard to just keep going instead of giving up. You know those fish deep under the water with the lights on their heads?
Oh yeah.
Like that stick up from their heads? We're gonna make that a fish. And then we're also gonna have a 3D shark right here going after the school of fish.
Little bits are circuitry that connect with magnets and allow students to use inputs, things like buttons and dimmer switches. They're creating art that moves and lights up and is interactive.
It's fun because it's like bringing the art to life.
The more powerful part has been the collaboration, the communication, the growth in problem solving. We're seeing students look at solving problems in a different way than they did in the past.
I'd like to see a little bit of what do you think your computer model is going to look like? How are you going to tell this story?
I think what is really exciting about this is that students are creating the computer model to show their thinking, their understanding of how a phenomenon works.
How could you control some of those variables?
This kind of communication, this kind of language is foundational for students.
Oh, and it doesn't allow you to choose two. Are you looking for two?
When you give them the tools, they do really amazing creative things that we don't even know what they're going to do.
Bellevue is focused on more than just exposing students. They've really focused on creating a pathway where students can learn and advance.
Our students really are learning 21st century skills that is making up most of the job market in our society today.
Today the kids are building a house on a program called SketchUp.
Julia had the idea of having like these separate roofs
that look like ears.
Yeah, and then we had like these circular windows that looked like eyes. Then we realized that we thought it looked like a kind of cat.
Once the kids' houses are complete, we'll minimize them and then print them on the 3D printer.
We're taking teachers that may not have a technology background and providing them training to become technologically advanced in the classroom to teach other students.
And it's gone. Oh. You want to redo it yourself?
Computer science isn't just about kids learning how to code. Computer science is about thinking and about students using critical thinking and logic and design to express their ideas.
It changes once you get...
It's really complex thinking for first graders, but they're absolutely capable of it. So why wouldn't we push them to do this great imaginative thinking?
When individuals donate and support this work and advancing computer science, it's good for all kids in Bellevue.
So what I'm super curious about is...
It helps us even expand the field of computer science education.
It's something that is now on the national agenda. And over the last year, Bellevue has really taken a leadership role in that conversation.
It has a front step here, a window, chimney, and on the back, there's like a porch almost.
I wouldn't be here today doing this project if I didn't have the foundation helping me get there, providing me those resources.
So this is an audacious strategy. To realize this sort of vision really takes the support of the foundation and the community.
It's just amazing what our kids are learning in the Bellevue schools today. And so I'm wondering, do you want to learn more about this program? Because at this point, I'd like to introduce Dani Ward, who teaches first grade at Newport Heights Elementary, and is going to take us deeper into the coding pilot program.
Hello, and thank you. Did you enjoy that video? Let me tell you a little more about it so I can show you how your support is transforming education right now. Our computer science curriculum teaches coding as a series of hands-on visual puzzles for the kids to solve. They're set up like games with characters like angry birds and cute bees. You move the blocks around to tell the computer what to do. My students work in pairs. It's called paired programming, and we do that because coding is really hard and it takes a lot of teamwork. They need to know that they're not in it alone. To move on, they have to get the program to do the right thing. And part of what's challenging is that the right thing includes complicated computer science concepts like loops. So say you need to write an algorithm to make a square. You'd say, turn right, go forward, go forward, go forward, turn right, and so on. But students have to recognize the pattern, and they need to put that into a repeating loop. They need to revise their code and continually make it better, more complex, more advanced. As they get to 2nd and 3rd grade, they have if-then statements. If your character moves over a red thing, then you're going to stop. If you're on a green thing, you're going to go forward. It can get to be incredibly complex. They are computer programmers, doing the same thing that computer programmers do, just with a simplified language. One of the great things about coding is that these concepts integrate so naturally into all areas of curriculum, including math, science, and literacy. Sometimes this even happens organically. Debugging is a term that we use. One day in writing, I was introducing editing and revising. I asked if they knew what editing meant, and someone raised their hand and said, oh, that's where you go back and fix things. And then a student raised her hand and said, editing, is that kind of like debugging? Research shows us that kids have mostly cemented their ideas about what they're good at by middle school. That means that by the time computer science is offered to them as an elective, it's too late for those who have not had exposure to it outside of school. What that looks like here in Bellevue is that 78% of AP computer science takers are boys. In addition, only 4% of AP computer science takers are African American or Hispanic, as compared to their comprising 15% of students in our schools. But imagine if every student has a chance to try their hand at coding before they can develop the idea that computer science isn't for them because they don't look like a computer scientist. How many of them might discover that computer science is for them? Could we shrink or even eliminate that opportunity gap? One thing I've seen this year is a shift in the way that my kids are thinking. There's so much more flexibility. There's so much more problem solving and so much more perseverance. Especially as things start to get more complicated and kids have it in their minds that they know how to do it, but then it doesn't work. And they have to just stop and say, okay, how I thought this was going to happen is not working. What's a different way that I can look at this? And here's where the paired programming is so important, because they're constantly communicating about their thinking and building collaboration skills. I always hear things like, well, I think you should try this. What if we did this? I don't think that's going to work. So they're learning to see things from their partner's perspective instead. They're saying, can I shift my thinking to what my partner sees? And if we do that, is that going to completely bomb? And then are we both going to have to shift our thinking and figure out something else to do? And there's something else. This program is changing life trajectories. I've learned that the kids who are good at this are not necessarily the kids who are the great readers or the great mathematicians. And that was a surprise to me. Sometimes it's the kids who are struggling academically who really get it. It makes sense to them. And then they're the experts. I'm thinking of one student in particular. She didn't speak much in class early in the year, but being a coding expert has helped build confidence. Now she's more willing to take risks in other areas. Now she knows that if she wants to be a computer scientist, she can do that. She's good at that. And think about those kids who are generally advanced and always finish everything so quickly. It's great to see them being stumped sometimes, and having a kid who isn't as good at math or reading or writing say, oh no, I get it, I know how to do this, let me show you. Because of this, I see a big boost in students' confidence levels and a change in the whole class culture. Classmates now understand that we all have strengths and weaknesses. We're on the brink of a shift in education toward understanding the importance of the thinking skills that come along with computer science. Our kids are going to need these skills as they grow up, whether or not they seek out careers in technology. They will need intuitive computer skills no matter their profession. They will need to be creative problem solvers, effective collaborators, flexible thinkers. This isn't just for the future coders in my class. This is for every student who I want to see succeed in college, in any career, and in life. And that's every single one of my students. As excited as I am about what's happening in my classroom, I also feel an enormous urgency. Deferring opportunity for even one child is a heartbreaking loss. I want every first grader in our schools to have this opportunity. With your help, my classroom story can be the story of every classroom for every student in the Bellevue School District. You can make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dani, for all your great work and your inspiration in the classroom. So, how do our students do once they leave the classroom or enter the real world? At this point, Osbaldo Hernandez came to the United States from Mexico when he was 12 years old. His only English was how to count from 1 to 7. So he spoke at the 2009 Spring for Schools Luncheon when he was a freshman at Seattle University. We thought it'd be fun to invite him back and do a check-in with Osbaldo. Osbaldo?
Thank you. I have good news. I'm now able to count higher than 7 in English. After graduating from Interlake in 2008, I attended Seattle University. Seattle U has a distinct culture for intellectual analytical papers. That means analytical papers of extended length. I can't stress enough how many times I heard from my peers at Seattle U how they had never written a paper longer than 2 or 3 pages long. I was like, what? I wrote an IB extended essay. That was already 4,500 words long. The support I received in Bellevue put me ahead of my peers at Seattle U, even with my disadvantage. Think about how that affected my success in college. You have no idea. After graduating from college, I taught social studies with Teach for America in an impoverished border town in Texas for 2 years. My class was always picked to be visited by outside guests because of how engaging it was and because my students got the highest test scores in the district. My principal would always poke fun of me. Oh, Mr. Hernandez, I am so sorry we're coming today. Now, between you and I, the Teach for America training is brief. So how did I, as a brand new teacher, manage to have the most engaged classes and students with the highest scores in the entire district? It is easy. I copied my teachers from Interlake. I copied Matt Daniels, my IB U.S. government teacher. Mr. Michael Byrne, my theory of knowledge teacher. James Cooney, my information technology teacher. And my beloved Spanish teacher, Rocio Gonzalez, who's here in the room. For instance, Ms. Gonzalez had a banner in her classroom that said, "I don't give you grades, you earn them." I had that on my desk in Texas. They were my role models. They were like fathers and mothers to me and my fellow students. So here's something that is crucial and it's not a coincidence, because everything that is done to support teachers filters down to student success. All 4 of those teachers are National Board Certified teachers. All the support I received allowed me to harness my personal initiative, ultimately stepping up to be an educator myself. It has allowed me to break out of poverty. It has allowed me to work for the Shoreline School District as a family advocate. I focus on families that are traditionally disengaged with the school system, engaging them, informing them, assisting students to cover their basic needs like shelter and food. And you know something? We can have the best teachers. We can have the best curriculum or the best school facilities and academic mentors. But if the child suffers or is experiencing some form of mental or social stress, that child is not going to succeed. I have seen it as a teacher, and I see it every day as a family advocate. In Bellevue schools, donors have funded social emotional learning. Students learn self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, social awareness, and responsible decision-making. It helps students succeed. It fosters a wholesome and welcoming school environment. It changes lives. So I'll tell you what I'm doing and what I wouldn't be doing if you didn't believe in a 12-year-old kid who arrived here only knowing the numbers 1 through 7 in English. I'm proud to tell you that I'm pursuing my master's in education policy from the University of Washington. Pursuing this degree will allow me to continue my work as an education advocate and an education specialist. I'm learning how we can help every single teacher master their skills so that they can get every student to succeed. I'm learning how we can support students who struggle with emotional pain so that they can succeed and thrive like I did. I am working to create equity in education. I feel like I'm a success story, but here's what I want you to understand. Because of crucial support from donors like you, there are so many other success stories. My friend Martha, who lived in poverty with her single mother, struggled academically. She had an IEP, which meant special accommodations for her learning difficulties, such as having more time to take tests. Now Martha is getting her master's in environmental justice, whatever that means. My friend Camilo, who came here with his mother and older brother from Colombia seeking political asylum, is now a business manager at Google. If I had an hour up here, I could fill it up with success stories of students whose future would have been bleak had they gone to a school in a different school district. Instead, like me, they are proud, they are hopeful, and yes, they're grateful, and yes, they're eager. They're eager to help make the world a better place. You make it possible. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for believing in us. Thank you very much.
Don't you just love Osbaldo? Thank you. Wow. I love happy endings, don't you? Except I suspect that this is just the beginning for Osbaldo, and you can see why we just keep bringing him back. So interestingly, though, we have learned that adding more remedial support classes in math, language arts, and other core curriculum areas do not result in significant improvement in student achievement. SOAR, on the other hand, is a program that provides support and interventions during the school day, helping students learn social and emotional awareness response strategies and study skills to support their learning. So I want to introduce you at this time to a very special 14-year-old girl. And can you imagine the courage it takes to come up and speak in front of all of you? So Michelle Dunayvitser is a Highland Middle School 8th grader. Come on up.
Hello, and thank you. When I started kindergarten, I only spoke Russian. I couldn't understand anything in school, and it made me so upset that I would cry in frustration. By first grade, I was fluent in English. In fact, I was so fluent that I was chosen to come speak to the Spring for Schools audience. That's me, at the Maidenbauer Center. Thank you. in 2009, when I was a first grader, that was my party dress. When some of the people from Bellevue Schools Foundation came to see how the programs are working out, they thought my story was very inspiring. And they asked if I want to come speak to the Spring for Schools audience. And guess what? They had no idea that I was that little girl who had been up on stage 7 years ago. I do look very different. But here's why I think my coming here 7 years later is so important. The reason I was doing so well by the time I was in first grade was because Bellevue Schools Foundation donors funded aides in the classroom so we could get extra help. It made a huge difference, and it gave me a great start. But life can be complicated. Sometimes students lose their way. I was one of those students. Looking back at 7th grade, I wasn't motivated at all. I wasn't engaged in schoolwork. I didn't want to be at school. My GPA was around a 2.0. My family would talk about how I was a disobedient child and how it looked like I was going to be one of those teenage kids. Then I got put into SOAR. I was mad when I got put into SOAR because I was supposed to have ceramics, and I was really looking forward to it. But once I was in SOAR, that really changed. Ceramics can wait. The class really grew on me. It is so great. We've all worked together and grown really close to each other. Miss Samedi is such a good teacher. She's so supportive. She doesn't push us to do things, but she helps us become motivated. We get a lot of time to catch up on our missing work. Every week, we would write out goals like, my grade in this class is this, and by this time, I want it to be that. Miss Samedi would go over our goals with each of us individually, asking us questions like, what can I do to help you achieve this goal? Or what can I do to support you? We would almost always achieve those goals. Compared to last year, I feel a lot more confident in myself knowing that I have support if I need it. For example, I was having some misunderstandings with one of my teachers, and I wrote him this really long email because I needed to think it through. And then he called me a self-advocate for that. That was a big compliment. With the help I got in SOAR, I learned that if I have this kind of problem again, I can always reach out to people. I know how to advocate for myself, and before I wouldn't have known. Now I understand I'll never be down there again. School is really important to me now. It always has been, but I would have never acknowledged that. Now I love all my teachers, and I enjoy school. I like to see hard work paying off, and if I just compare that to last year, I think, wow, without SOAR, I wouldn't be where I am now. Now I know that how well you do in school has to do with much more than whether you're smart or a quick learner. When I had people to guide me and hold my hand a little, including psych coaches Thomas Taylor and Peter Shin, who also help SOAR students, I just felt better overall. And on that note, I want to thank you, Thomas, for all the support you've given me in the past 2 years, all the one-on-one talks, all the leadership, and I just really want you to know that I'll miss you. I feel better outside of school knowing people believe in me. And it's not just me. I know everybody in SOAR. Their motivation has gone up, and I know that they feel that they have support. They might not have known they needed it, but now they understand that they did. So, you remember I told you that when I started SOAR, I had a 2.0 GPA? This year, I've never been below a 3.5, and I was even able to get up to a 4.0. Thank you. A lot of people are really impressed with how much I've grown from last year. My mom brags all the time about how well I'm doing in school. In fact, she is here today along with my sister and brother-in-law. Mom, Tanya, and Mark, I'm so happy you're all here, and I'm glad I've made you proud. SOAR taught me to be the person I am today. Thank you. Thank you. And the person I will be 10 years from now. Getting what I needed from SOAR helped with what you call emotional intelligence. I understand myself more. I don't avoid problems because I know there are always people there to help me get through them. Now I think about the future all the time. I want to go to college and find what I'm good at. I love psychology. I feel I have a lot of experience with emotions, and I want to learn the science behind them. Maybe I'll be a counselor, because I want to help kids whose place I was once in. To every single person in this room, I want to thank you for what you do for students like me. You changed my life when I was starting school. Then you were there for me again when I was struggling. And you changed my life again. Thank you for coming to Springford Schools. Thank you.
Michelle, you should be so proud of yourself. I want to just let everybody know, I mean, Michelle's path is really a tribute to her dedication, to herself, to her success, but it's also a tribute to the dedication of everyone in this room, to all of our students, so thank you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Arthur Emery, and I'm a trustee with the Bellevue Schools Foundation. For my day job, I actually help kids reach their own full potential as students and as members of their communities. I couldn't be happier to be up here with you today, and there's no place I'd rather be. But I wouldn't be up here on this stage without some of the lessons from one of the greatest educators of my own life, my accountant, Leslie Ann Deming. Leslie was an accountant who helps businesses start up, but instead of becoming their bookkeeper, she taught them how to run their own books. Because she understood that by educating them, what she did was not only help them become more self-sufficient, but that she actually empowered them to reach a level of success that they didn't know was possible. But what Leslie didn't know, and what none of us really realized, was the impact that she was having on everybody's life. Leslie passed away suddenly 5 years ago. She was a classic accountant introvert, so nobody really expected a lot of people to show up for her celebration of life ceremony. But over 150 people showed up. And there was an opportunity for people to speak if they wanted to about Leslie. And each person who stood up there said the same thing over and over again. Leslie changed my life. I wouldn't be where I am today without the lessons that she taught me. From business owners to nonprofit directors, to me and my brothers. Because Leslie wasn't just my accountant, she was also my mom. And that day, she taught me the most important lesson of my life. She taught me that every single one of us has the power to change lives by empowering those people to be as successful as possible. And that is exactly why we are all here today. To empower our students to reach the levels of success they know they deserve. And it's to this end that the Bellevue Schools Foundation and the Bellevue School District has laid out an audacious plan for our programs this year. 40% more than what we can fund currently. Because in order for us to continue being the leader we know we are, in our community, in our region, in our state, in our country, and yes, even in the world, we need to push ourselves. As your table captains now pass out your pledge forms, I want you to take note of the column that we've added to your card, the Make It Happen column. This column represents a 40% increase for every donation amount, because today, I need you to increase your donation by 40%. 40% to guarantee that our first grade coding pilot program will be available to every one of our students through K through 12, every student entirely. You've already seen what a lasting and deep impact it's had on our students. 40% to guarantee that we will maximize the number of nationally board certified teachers we have here in Bellevue, so that students like Osbaldo and Mona's daughter Madeline can continue to thrive under their expert guidance. 40% to guarantee that we can continue giving the groundbreaking, innovative, life-changing programs that we're known for, so that students like Michelle can continue to soar. They can continue to be lifted up rather than falling through the cracks. 40% to guarantee that we can empower every student in our district to be successful. If you were thinking about donating, check that Make It Happen box. Check that box, change kids' lives. It's that easy. And if you're thinking about donating less than $1,000, increase your donation today to $1,000. Because of the generosity of our angel donors, your donation will double. Think of the combined impact that you will have through that $1,000 donation. And if instead you wanted to give us a recurring monthly payment to support us throughout the year, please put that on your pledge card. $25, $50, $100 or more. But most importantly, put a number on your card today that lets you appreciate your absolute power to change lives. Because you deserve it. And our kids deserve it. So thank you for every dollar you give today. Thank you for every minute you volunteer with us. Thank you for every person you tell about our great work together. Thank you for dedicating yourselves and your resources to our kids. And thank you for letting my mom change the lives of 1,100 more people. I know that she would be so proud to know that she had been a part of what we accomplished here today together. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Arthur, for sharing your personal story with us. And thanks to all of you for, as Arthur says, the lives you have just changed through your donation today. So I want to talk a little about Naviance. It's a software that is a transformational tool that our donors brought to our schools. It keeps track of the entire college process for us. For those of us who have juniors and seniors, this is a great thing. It keeps track of that, identifies colleges to preparing for SATs, it sends applications to colleges, and so much more. So did you know that it costs $10 for each 6th through 12th grader to have a Naviance account? On each table, you'll see a light green envelope like this, labeled Cash for College and Career. Okay, no pressure here, right? College and career. After you've finished filling out your pledge card, will you please reach into your wallets or your purses and get some extra cash, right? I'm rich. No, I'm not really. These are all ones. But you can make that little green envelope a little heavier while you make your wallet a little lighter. So 5s, 10s, 20s, your $100 bills, anything will work. We'll take it. And those bills would be so thrilled to help your kids successfully navigate that important life passage. So I look forward to seeing lots of green stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that ends our program for today. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for being here for the Bellevue Schools Foundation. We'll see you next year.